When the new school year begins, a lot of students like to have their picture taken on the first day of school. Brooke, a young 13-year-old girl, originally from Auburn in Arizona, was back in Class 5E. On the morning of her return to school, she and her mother went out into the garden to take some pictures. But when her mother looked at the photo more closely, she noticed a detail and immediately panicked. The start of the school year is an important time for all students. Lauren, the young teenager's mother, loved to immortalize this time of year by taking a photo to keep some memories. Brooke always took her back-to-school photo inside her home, but this back-to-school time, she wanted to capture that moment in the garden. Her mom always used to take a picture of her on the first day of school, but since the weather was wonderful that day, they decided to take the picture outside. They were both going to regret this decision, which was going to give them the fear of their lives. Brooke is a student at a college in her hometown of Auburn, where she excels. She is one of the best students at her college. Indeed, his grades and demeanor are both absolutely flawless. But it is also for her a way to see the evolution of her little girl. But this year, when she took a picture of her daughter, she still didn't know that the picture would go around the world, thanks to just one small detail. This is the kind of picture that could appear in common games that we find quite often on social networks, found the intruder. It is very difficult to find what is wrong with the photo at first glance, but as soon as you see it, you will get goosebumps. Brooke and her parents had just moved to a quiet little area of Auburn. Before moving, the small family lived in a luxury apartment in the city center, but now they lived in a house in the suburb of Auburn. The young college girl was also very popular and had a lot of friends. It was for this reason that his whole class immediately noticed her absence on her first day of school. Her friends were eager to find out what she did on vacation and couldn't understand why she hadn't shown up on the first day of school. They were starting to imagine the worst. You should know that Brooke was a punctual student and was always one of the first to arrive at college in the morning. So when one of her best friends came to college, totally panicked, running, they knew something bad was going on. She started screaming, "Quick, hurry up, grab your phone and open Instagram. Look at the pic Brooke just posted. You won't believe it. It is absolutely amazing." Everyone expected everything except what they were about to find out. Some thought she had extended her vacation and posted a photo from another country. The photo Brooke had just posted on social media was a pretty weird photo for a first day of school photo. The photo contained a detail that would make a lot of people shudder. The other students in Brooke's class were in shock when they saw what had happened to her. Indeed, Brooke and her mother had no idea that anything else was in the photo. Her friends were worried because the intruder in the photo was very scary, and they hoped nothing bad had happened to Brooke. The photo looked innocent, but on closer inspection, you could have a cardiac arrest. But let's go back to the time of taking the photo. Lauren, Brooke's mother, was ready to take a picture of her daughter. The photo shoot was going very well, but Brooke's mother thought she spotted something strange. Indeed, when she took her eyes off the camera lens and saw something moving very close to her daughter, she had the shock of her life. She couldn't believe her eyes. She was completely scared for her daughter, but also in the grip of her own fear. She felt her heartbeat at 1,000 miles an hour. The panic was beginning to invade her, but she must not give in for the safety of her daughter. What Brooke and her mom didn't notice in the regular photo shoot was that there was a huge snake located on the tree just behind Brooke. Lauren hadn't immediately noticed the snake. She only noticed it after taking several photos, and the snake started to move. The snake got closer and closer to Brooke with each photo she took. Then the fact that the snake was the same color as the tree made it difficult for her to spot it early on. She panicked immediately, but she knew she had to stay calm in order to save Brooke, as she still hadn't noticed a thing. The snake on her back was getting very menacing, and any sudden movement could prompt her to attack Brooke. Lauren said, "I yelled at Brooke that she should come over to me immediately. Once she was with me, I pointed at the snake, and we both screamed. The two women then hurried home." My God, that was scary, the girl's mother told a newspaper. She said she was trying to keep calm, but told her daughter to get away from the tree. Once Brooke and her mother were safe inside the house, and she began to realize how it could have ended, she collapsed in tears, but it was not over. The snake that was on the tree was a rattlesnake, an extremely dangerous species of snake. If you are bitten by one of these snakes, get to the hospital as quickly as possible to get an antidote. The teenager had almost been bitten by a rattlesnake. If you take a closer look at the photo, you will notice that the snake is staring at the girl. You wonder what he was thinking. Looks like he's been waiting for the right moment to attack Brooke. If she had stayed there for a few more seconds, she wouldn't have escaped the bite of this terrible beast, but the worst was luckily avoided. When she realized what was behind her, she was speechless. Lauren said, "Hen, we looked at the pictures on my phone. We couldn't believe how close it was, and we had no idea." At first, Brooke didn't quite understand what was going on. She had been bitten by a snake before when she was little, so she was really afraid of it. Recalling the horror, she started to panic. She realized how lucky she was to get away safe and sound. Fortunately, she had not backed down towards the tree, and that her mother knew how to keep her calm in this horrible situation. Since she had been bitten by a snake in the past, she did not have a very good memory of it. This kind of experience does not leave us without consequences. It can cause quite significant trauma. After seeing the photo and realizing how lucky she had been, Brooke began to panic. She shouted, "I won't go outside until this snake is gone. I can't, it's not possible." Brooke refused to leave the house to go to class that day, and she was going to miss the start of the school year. Lauren tried to calm her daughter down and called an animal center so Brooke could confidently return outside and finally go to school. But the situation did not end there. When the men from the animal center arrived, the snake was already gone. Brooke was panicking more and more, and no one could calm her down. The snake could be anywhere. But where had he gone? She started screaming, "I won't go outside until the snake is caught. He may have slipped somewhere." It was very important to find the snake so that it didn't bite someone. They quickly got to work and looked for traces of the snake on and around the tree. They had to be very careful because the snake could easily deceive them because of its color. As the men from the animal center stood in the yard trying their best to get their hands on the snake, Brooke was a little calmer. She realized that she had had a slightly special back-to-school photo and decided to post it on Instagram. In just a few seconds, she got a lot of reactions from her classmates, who were still in shock. Comments and likes only kept increasing. The snake had still not been found. Brooke was very brave to overcome this event and still found some positivity in this story. After combing the entire garden, the men at the animal center managed to find and catch the snake. Brooke was able to attend school on her first day, although she did get there a little later than expected. Most students take normal back-to-school photos, but thanks to the snake, Brooke may have had the most interesting photo and story in all of her college. While many immediately noticed the snake's presence in the photo, very few would have been able to recognize it and know that it was one of the most dangerous species. Did you know that most of us have no idea what the most dangerous animal species really look like? We very often mistakenly think that these are the largest species with large fangs, and well, this is far from true. The most dangerous creatures are often the cutest and appear harmless. Don't you believe us? Well, take a look at the top of the world's most dangerous creatures for yourself. It is only a few centimeters tall, and yet it is best not to go near it. The ant called rifle bullet, or more scientifically, Paraponera clava, does not have this name for no reason. Its name refers to the horrible pain caused by its sting. A pain similar, according to the unlucky ones who experienced it, to being shot with a gun. Indeed, there are many fierce creatures, large and small, that are outright mortal. Here are some of the world's deadliest species. You will be hard-pressed to believe why some of them are on this list. With such a beautiful color and such a small size, many would surely love to take it in their hands, but you better not. These frogs are aptly named after the native tribes use their secretions to make poison arrows. These frogs have enough poison to kill 10 adults. They obtain their poison by assimilating it from plants that they consume. They are found only in northern South America, especially in Suriname and in the Brazilian border regions. Very known for their bright colors, they are the object of a trade-in, particularly in France as new pets. Unlike most of the other animals on this list, the world's largest carnivore isn't afraid of you at all. It has no natural predators and will eat anything that contains meat, even lightly, even other polar bears. While polar bears look cute, they are formidable predators and rarely fear humans, making them extremely dangerous. In general, they do not kill human beings, probably because there are few of them around. Its white color allows it to easily camouflage itself in its environment, and it lives only on the pack ice around the North Pole at the edge of the Arctic Ocean. He is the most feared constrictor snake and one of the most feared snakes in the world, the anaconda living in South America. It lives in water and has only 3 predators: the jaguar, the black caiman, and the man. Although they are not considered man-eaters, their size and strength make them extremely dangerous to humans. For food, the anaconda uses its enormous body and prodigious strength to wrap itself around its prey and suffocate it by constriction, before swallowing it entirely. If you've ever watched the Anaconda movie series, you know it should be avoided at all costs. The Mediterranean black widow is one of the most poisonous spiders in Europe. Its bite can sometimes be dangerous, but rarely fatal to humans. Its bite can sometimes make you dizzy and also nauseous. Her body has strange patterns that can scare predators, but she also has unusually large venom glands, inflicting excruciating bites. Contrary to popular belief, not a regular at sexual cannibalism, except the redback black widow. You can find it in the cities of Guadalajara and Aguascalientes in Mexico. Diplopods generally live in dense colonies under stones, in soil, in dead and decaying wood, and in moist places, and there are about 10,000 known species of centipedes. They are not poisonous, but many species have glands capable of producing irritating fluids that can cause allergic reactions in some people. Some centipedes' defensive sprays contain hydrochloric acid, which can chemically burn the skin and cause long-term skin discoloration. However, they are not fatal to humans. The blue-ringed octopus is an octopus, which lives in the reefs of the Indian and Pacific Oceans. There are 3, maybe 4, very similar species. It measures on average only 10 centimeters. The blue-ringed octopus is a very poisonous animal. Its bite is dangerous for humans. It paralyzes the respiratory system in 15 minutes. The only way to save someone bitten by a blue-ringed octopus is to give them artificial respiration for a few hours until the effects of the poison wear off. The little blue-ringed octopus is the size of a golf ball. As the saying goes, you shouldn't always be fooled by appearances. The Urukandji jellyfish does look great, but is one of the most dangerous animals in the world. Its bites cause Urukandji syndrome. The syndrome causes excruciating pain and can lead to death without immediate medical attention within 20 minutes of the bite. The symptoms are usually a severe headache, back pain, muscle pain, neck pain, abdominal pain, among others. This jellyfish lives along some Australian coasts. Its name comes from the Aboriginal Urukandji tribe.